Nana Danko Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
Do we have his clip from the from Cape Coast when he was speaking to the students of the? Okay, let's play that one.
He argues that where some polytechnics are picked and others are left behind is a recipe for disaster.
God willing, we get the chance later this year. We're going to concentrate on building our industrial sector and enhancing our agriculture. And there you have a very important place to play in the development of our country. That's very attractive. But like so many things in the Mahama era, the implementation of this policy is fraught with a lot of danger. We cannot do this policy piecemeal. Either you're doing it for everybody or you're not doing it at all. We can't have a situation where some are picked and others are left out of the process. It's not a good idea. Let us make sure that all the polytechnics in our country, in each of the regions, have the same infrastructure and the same level of development. Then we can make the transition for all of them. But pick some and leave some out, you are disadvantaging and destabilizing the ones that you have left out.
The flag bearer of the new patriotic party, Nana Akufo-Addo, spelled out MPP's policy on polytechnic education in Ghana.
Given the opportunity, we're going to make sure that the infrastructure of the polytechnics are fully developed and that the collaboration between the polytechnics and industry is strong and it is done. That is what is going to make the difference to the technical education of the future of our country. Part of the policies that we have is that we're going to give companies a tax incentive, a tax credit for every fresh graduate that the companies employ, so that we can encourage companies to employ fresh graduates instead of having the graduates sitting down in the house for 4, 5, 6 years doing nothing.
Richard Kwejenyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Is a flag bearer of the MPP. It's well poised for the election. That's a very ambitious thing, Henry Kobna Kukufu. Honorable.
Yeah.
To build a factory in each district.
Yeah.
And then make sure that you force all companies to, with a tax incentive, employ people.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. You
so
see,
what are they going to do even if their overheads cannot meet them?
Walker, Ghanaians must be are waking up to this time, and I think the spirit is coming back. And now Danko Akufo-Addo have for a long time promised that Ghana can work again, and we should let Ghana work again. This is the path he's treading. Unlike the situation where my friend comes here and wants to malign multimedia and put Manasseh and everybody on the carpet, we are dealing with the issues of unemployment, the issues of the weaker economy, the issues of expanding the economy in order to absorb the teeming unemployment in the streets. Now Danko Akufo-Addo is digging deep into history. You go to PP, Progress Party regime under Professor Bizia, and you know the rural cottage industry policy. Indeed, rural development policy was at its highest peak under Bizia's government. And the idea was to get cottage industries spread across the various areas. So we will seize the rural urban drift of the youth and then make agriculture more productive, because the factories will be taking on the produce for as raw materials and all those things. So we are going back to that point. And that is exactly what Danko Akufo-Addo is espousing. And he's saying, he's telling all of us that you need to first put the economy on its proper perspective. The monetary fiscal position, discipline of the economy must be really firm and updrawing. Then you give up these tax incentives to prospective companies. I mean, you create the necessary convenient environment for industries to take advantage of, manufacturing, whatever. And it is not too difficult to do. You reckon that under the PNDC, Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings, through her 31st December movement, had this kind of idea at the rural levels where Gary making factories and all those things were introduced to the peasant farmers and then the women groups over there. You need to build upon these things. And that Danko Akufo-Addo is looking far, visionary, wanting to see.
Is he building cottage industries, or he's building factories?
Yes, factories.
Factories like, let's say, the way Commander factory. That's it cost us 39 or 35 million.
Yes.
How many was it?
Yes, it's about $40 million, but that's not even all the cost. We
yes,
and then because we know that you need to do investments along the value chain. So
yes, $36 million. Yes, Wyoming had 51, almost $36 million for free. That could have built yet another one. You talk about Ajida, we spent almost about $100 million free. Just went to the drain. Could have built 3 of such. So if you do prudency, if you manage your economy properly,
200 now.
When you manage your economy properly, you have on addition petroleum revenue raking in as well. You will be able to find the money. And indeed, during the private-public partnership is there, and we are envisaging a stronger private sector growth. They will take advantage of whatever convenient policies that they will be there, and then come in, and with greater assistance from the government, they will be able to put up these factories in all the districts and all that, and that will trigger down to the cottages where you have.
How many districts do we have?
I think 271 or so.
No, 213 now.
213. Okay, 213. Yes. Okay. So
we're going to build factories in each of them.
Yes, across board, and
that's very expensive.
Well, that's very expensive, but
worthwhile.
Worthwhile, and it's meticulous. I mean,
have we done the feasibility? Are you doing the feasibility, or you come and do the feasibility when you come into office?
We are in the process of doing. And you see, these people will tell you it's not feasible. You can't do it. They said it before. They said it when Danko Akufo-Addo talked about SHS 2012 at IEA Tamale. They laughed over it and said, no, this is a political talk. Only for President Mahama to turn around and say, yes, we're going to implement SHS. We also have on record, when President Kufuor talked about the national health insurance, the president was then an MP in Parliament. They staged a boycott and they said it can never be. It is not possible. At the end of the day, we have it. They promised Ghanaians one-time premium. You pay one time and you never pay anything on national health insurance. They couldn't do it, and the little that were left for them, they've been able to bring it to its knees. Medical doctors GMA had their annual general meeting at Bogatanga about 3 weeks ago, and it was of consensus thinking that the NHIS is gradually dying off, and that cash and carry is back in the system. It's not me talking about it. It is the medical doctors, the service providers that they are complaining and talking about, and we have people doing so. There was this capitation that was placed on Ashanti region for 4 years on a piloting program. As today, nobody knows the state of the what really went in there. So it's about prudent management of the economy from the basis, from the beginning. You get your CD dollar stabilized. You have prudent fiscal policies in place,
and then you can implement the policy.
You can.
Well said.
You can. Yeah, and
this very announcement, I say, has got the NDC shaking in its seat. You seem you started discrediting the policy initiative or the intention.
Why would you discredit a policy if it's going to help Ghanaians? I'm happy you asked a few questions here. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is fond of making outlandish promises. Let's face it.
This is outlandish.
Of course.
Indeed, many communities in the country need some of these factories to generate employment, for example.
Nana says that, oh, I I think we should improve on our ability to set up production units, as we are already doing. Talk about Commander, talk about the fact that we are producing more rice today, so that we are producing more than half of the rice we eat in this country locally, because we said this, the president said this go to himself, this country, in parliament, that we should improve on poultry production. We are producing more poultry today, so the poultry, when the chicken is ready, the processing until it gets to my table is all the value chain. If Nana Akufo-Addo says that upon this we'll do more, fine. But if Nana says that at all cost we are going to build a factory in every, he didn't say cottage, factory in all the over 200 districts, the question first is this: would that factory require energy? Would that factory require roads? Would that factory require water? If yes, has it got any plan to get this thing done? Because as we sit, we haven't gotten every district capital, including my own district capital, hasn't got a road done yet. It's now that the government is fixing it. So Nana Akufo-Addo is not being realistic. That's what I'm saying. He should understand that factories don't drop from the skies. In fact, the so-called businessmen they are talking about don't go and set up factory in a place just because Nana Akufo-Addo wants. There must be value. There must be reason. There must be the reason for the businessman to know that he's going to make profit. Look, there was not even water if Nana Akufo-Addo decided to go and put a factory even in Chibi. There was not even water there for the factory to do anything. It took this government to send water there. So there was no way Nana Akufo-Addo can say that he has gotten any feasibility study to say that, in fact, he's talking about Gary. We produce a lot of Gary in Adaklo already, so we don't need him to set up a Gary factory, because we produce a lot of Gary this morning as we speak. Maybe half of the Gary going to Mafi Kumasi and coming to.
But what Nana has been saying is that we need to make sure we create a certain value in what we produce in the state in which we produce them.
Say something to the truth. Don't make vague statements. Everybody listening to
How
you.
can this be vague? He said he wants to set up factories.
So why wouldn't he begin to mention? Why wouldn't he begin to mention some of the factories that he's going to set up? Let's say that
he's only made the first policy announcement. So
no. You see, but look, I doubt if there's any real economist, industrialist listening to Nana or you and I today who thinks that Nana Akufo-Addo is going to be able to establish over 200 factories, even if they give him 20 years to do that. Because the fact is that you need some basic things. That is what we are doing. The roads must be fixed. Electricity must get to every corner. Water must get to every corner. So when they left the water supply just about 50% water coverage, and we take it to 80%, and we want it to get to everybody. When they left the electricity coverage at similar level, and we are doing it, we are more realistic in terms of and then indeed, they should cite 1 or 2 factories that they established in their 8 years, which is still functional, to tell me that they have a track record of that. Then take that and give ourselves in that past 3 or just over 3 years with the president, and the things that he has revived in terms of providing the opportunity for industrial production. Okay. And let's have that.
I have this very comment from Sampine. He's the MPP secretary for the Ashanti region. Says the NDC do not understand what a factory is. A bamboo factory in the Amenfi West district, where raw bamboo is in abundance, can be built at $2 million. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a large scale factory. Likewise, a large palm oil extraction factory at Birim in the eastern region.
No, he's the one who was using the. I'm just saying that it just doesn't make sense to say that I'm building. Look, the factors of production don't allow you to just say that I want to put up a factory at all costs. So okay, you are going to put up a factory in Tema. What factory are you putting up in Tema? What factory are you putting up in Accra? We must have the basis of that.
You should know if there's a factory in Tema, he doesn't need to build a factory in Tema.
But he's saying he's building it. It's the same kind of mantra. You see, and it's the same thing. You see, when they wrote 2000 and 2004 manifesto, and they put in that all the slums in Ghana, including the one not far from us this time here, will be turned into high-rise building. Which high-rise building sprang up under the NPP.
So you're saying what? He's only being unrealistic because he's not yet in power.
Of course, and also.
So he's promising big to win.
They will change all chobas in the Ghana into restaurant. In fact, I love my choba Agbamami in Itema. I don't want you to turn it into a restaurant. I like
Agbamami is a restaurant.
No, it's a choba.
It's a restaurant.
Agbamami. Listen, what I'm trying to say is that
there is no very.
I will build a railway from Tema. Hold on. From Tema.
Yeah, I remember that promise was made to the north.
Into Burkina Faso. At the same time, they were selling the rail tracks as scrap metal and selling to other people. You see, and I'm saying that which railway?
But let me ask you. Let me ask you. The Franklin Kujo.
Yeah.
Franklin Kujo of Imani, Ghana, said we're now in a knowledge-based economy, and so while the world is standing around, your flag bearer also needs to make sure that he posits his promise of one district, one factory policy alongside what the current world order is, so that you don't kind of undertake these policies in some kind of isolative environment.
Yeah, basically so. We do agree. He's talking about privatization and the private participation. And yes, the laws allows it. Public-private partnership. The law allows it. And just as Sampain put in, if you have a $2 million bamboo small-scale factory that employs about, say, 20, 30 people, you've had an industry out there.
And that fulfills that promise.
Yes, of course it can.
It means that you can just do anything and go away with it.
No, you see the point is, we want employment for our people. We are training in the schools and the vocational, technical institutions, skills and all those things. They come out and they have nothing to do. So we need to create the necessary environment for employment generation. And that is a basic fundamental thing. Indeed, NDC want to give Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo the power so we can all see what he can do. They want to do that. And we are ready and prepared. We've done thorough work. And I took it back to busiest days where the cottage industry concept was.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. We've had many cottage industries over the years. We had the National Board for Small Scale Industry also sponsoring things. But let me move you on to the subject of the issue of the conversion of the polytechnics. It was something that I heard. I thought the conversion was already taking place.
Yeah, they went to Koforidua Polytechnic and they put a university or whatever, and then the authorities asked them to drop it. It's still a polytechnic. And recently the buses, you saw them, they were inscribed polytechnics. They could not put the university there.
I do understand. I'm saying that with the conversion process that they've named or selected some of the polytechnics which have been converted. In
the process of being converted. The law is
so they're finalizing the processes so that they have been selected in the first series to be converted. And I'm saying that policy is ongoing. So why do you go and announce that you convert all polytechnics en masse?
No, Nana was trying to say why the selective. Why the selective processes.
So we shouldn't have a selective process.
If the policy,
it should be wholesale.
Yeah, if the policy says yes, all
polytechnics. Did you just say yes, it should be wholesale?
Oh, please, I'm coming. If the policy says we should have all polytechnics converted, is it not the case? So what went into this?
So I'm asking, are you saying, because in the clip he said that it's too piecemeal, it has to be done wholesale. So do you agree it should be wholesale?
Of course. Why discriminate against others?
Yeah, are they discriminating or is a process?
Well,
or you are using the word discrimination.
Well, they can call it a process or discrimination. But what went into the selection processes? What went in? Who and who?
Why would you think that a panel that has put of experts that have put together a report which should guide the education ministry will be biased towards polytechnics?
And Walker, you are aware that a lot of polytechnics are up in arms against this.
Well, the fact that they disagree doesn't mean that.
Yeah, a lot of them. Cape Coast, I think Cape Coast is not part of it. Cape Coast Polytechnic is not part of it.
So he chose to go to Cape Coast.
And they asked.
It was very instructive.
No.
To take advantage of the situation.
No, he's in Central Region. And Central Region, Cape Coast is there. And the Polytechnic houses a lot of the youth. And it's their target group, for Nana's interaction. And not that alone. He had opportunity to interact with the fish folks, fishmongers and all those things. And their grievances have been addressed by him. Yeah.
It just shows that your policies have got loopholes, and so Nana just seems to be the right man to punch those holes out and promise the right things to be done.
That President Mahama should have ignored the expert advice that there's a process, there's a criteria that needed to be met before you become a university. No, I want my president to be able to understand that he is not an expert in everything, and when he gets expert advice, he must follow it. There was a criteria set up, and eminent people who understand things about education better than President Mahama and Nana Akufo-Addo came up with a roadmap and says that we have a benchmark when these days in terms of the quality of lecturers, the numbers of lecturers, the courses you want to run, the curriculum, the infrastructure for availability, then we can roll out the first batch, and then that is exactly what is going to happen. We have always said that all the polytechnics will be converted into technical universities. That is still on the table and will surely be done. So by the time President Mahama finishes, I don't know what will be left for Nana Akufo-Addo to come and implement. And indeed, everybody knows. Why didn't he go to Tamale or Ho Poly or something? Because he thinks that there's an agitation about we want to get. And guess what? The heads of those polytechnics did understand that they were told that they were fast tracking the review and updating of those things so that they will be made to join the first batch of this. So I don't know exactly.
Does it mean that with Nana having announced this, you'll be panicking and so we'll fast track the process even before he's elected?
That's what I'm saying. That you heard them saying, the Minister of Education saying that they have actually asked the process to fast, assuming that some of the lectures that were required to carry out some of the things were not there yet. They will fast track them, and that process has already started. So I am sure that Nana knows that he's just trying to dwell on the sentiment of people that, look, currently they go from every how do you call it, teacher college of education doing their distance there. What do you realize that they don't want to go to Polytechnic because they realize that there's not much message there. So even if they want to go to
but they just went to Cape Coast Polytechnic.
That's what I'm saying, that when they go there, they go to the ones that they think there's an issue. But the fact is that the Cape Coast Polytechnic administrators know that there's already a roadmap for them to
But do you know that the Cape Coast students and the SRC, etc., agitated a lot?
Yes.
Raising concerns why they were not part of the first.
But Roland, do you really think that the fact that I agitate for something, meaning, look,
it means you are not satisfied?
Yes, but then the right thing must be done.
If somebody comes and wants to provide the best solution,
we actually said that they would have rolled out this without considering any expert advice, and that is why you should even be scared.
He didn't particularly say
that. He said that Nana said that why discriminate? We just give it to everybody. I am so scared of a president. I'll be scared of a president who does not take any expert advice, who will just wake up and just decide, I am doing this. I'll be so scared because he can wake up and say things.
What makes you think that?
Because that is exactly what he's saying.
Yes. What makes you think that what he's saying has not been backed by, or is not on the premise of an expert advice?
So put out that expert advice. They tell us who are put out the report, because at least the one that is being implemented by government, we know there's a report, we know there's a panel, so we know you can contact them and say that what are the bases. You can even call them and interview them. So Nana should also put forward the committee that came up with the decision that it is easy for them to implement that. But you see, it falls in line with all the outlandish and untested and I mean all the promises he's making. None of them is based on any fact or based on anything. It's just an election year, and he must also promise something to be heard. That is all it is about. And unfortunately, he's promising things that are already being done, or things that have already been done. So I find it difficult to understand what the basis of this. When you go and promise things that have already been done, what are you trying to talk about? Why don't he go and promise?
If you claim that he's promising things that are already been done, maybe they are not being done right.
No, it's been done. I would even be happier if he says that it could have been done quicker. But if to say that we would have just